Well, hello, you trader nerds. Welcome into what might be the most important session we have had in the last three and a half years that we've been doing this. And I was playing brand new man, and I was acting like I was a DJ at the radio station. The radio station called me and wants me to fill in for the morning show 2 weeks in June as their morning host goes to Europe, and Beth won't let me. So the reason, if y'all remember, the reason I started doing YouTube and doing our Discord thing is because I couldn't do radio anymore because radio was my true passion and love. And so we started doing this, which is kind of cool. And I am so glad that y'all are here. This might be the most important session that we have had together. I have been doing research over the weekend. I have been doing machine learning. I have been doing AI. I have been doing Pine script editing with code, and I am very excited. I had no idea. It's amazing. You know, you sit there and you go, I've been trading since, I don't know, 2010, 2011, 2012, something like that, being an active trader. And I've never been as excited as I am now. I just didn't know that some of this stuff was possible. I had no idea. And I spent a good amount of time on Reddit. When I go to bed at night, I'll go to Reddit and look at algo trading and things of that nature, the site there, and I'll go to the TQQ people and the Theta Gang and the Wall Street bets, and you occasionally learn stuff. And this weekend was really exciting. I'm excited about it. Now, what I'm going to show you today is not complete. It's not complete at all, but it's a really nice step in the right direction. And I think it will open some of your eyes as to what is available out there. So real traders never trade alone. They trade with their fellow nerds. We got Chain with us. We got DB with us. We got Dwayne. We got two Dwaynes. Oh my God. If one was not enough, we got the Houster in the house. We got iPad with us. Matt Jolly Wally. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. President Trump and Nick Saban both speaking at Alabama the other day, and all the graduates were excited about it. And Nick Saban was talking about the process, and that's what we have done and try to put together. And I think you'll like the process that we put together. We got the Rickster in the house with us. We got Steven, and we've got Vicky with a Y. Hardly ever does Vicky with a Y and Vicky with an I show up at the same time. Are they the same person? We don't know. But look at the market, y'all. The E-mini's down about 0.25%, down 16 points. But we've been going a little bit up, a little bit down. And the VIX is down to 23. Wow. Nobody's scared. But this is still a relatively high VIX compared to about 17 average that VIX is. So we're a little elevated because we don't know if Orange Man tweet, if Orange Man say something about tariffs, then all bets are off. He is a volatile son of a gun. The AD is at 124. It has been as high as 147 and as low as negative 354. Volume looks a little bit down. I wish my average volume thing was there. I can't get that there. If anybody knows, and I've got it on there, it's on the code, but it just doesn't show. The NASDAQ is down 87 points, down about 0.4%. I think that's 0.4%. So the market's just kind of blah today. It's a Monday. Let's look at our big green monster, see if we can find anything about the big green monster. If I could ever code the big green monster with Pine script code, y'all, it is on, baby. We are overbought for the fair value zone below. Now, remember, this is kind of a 10-day window that we look at. We look at the last 10 days and we look at 30 minutes. So it can stay up here a while, even though it's overbought, but it'll probably like to test this area. It would love to come back to its point of control where the most volume has spent, and it is at the value area high, and it always looks for these little gaps. So could it? Yes, it could. It absolutely could. Let's look at linear regression. I always like taking a look at linear regression. So linear regression is moving up, as we said. Remember, I said it's probably going up, and we're probably headed to the 5,800, unless Orange Man Mango himself does something that could get us into trouble. Then we are going to 5,800 and maybe beyond. Everything looks really, really bullish to me. Now, y'all, for the most important part of today that I'm so excited to, and I've just spent hours and hours this weekend. And like I say, I am a educator. I'm a scientist. I'm a horrible trader. Y'all know that. Y'all seen me. I'm horrible. I can lose money in an instant. August 5th, my gosh, how much we lost there. We've had if anybody's following my trader, you know how bad I am. But I ain't as bad as I used to be, because I used to blow out accounts. I don't blow out accounts anymore. But we've been talking about a lot of scalping. And as you know, we've had different charts and different things that tell us when to sell and tell us when to buy. And we thought, well, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat, right? And we're looking at money flow. And so we're looking at, VWAP, and we look at volume. And then we come up with this chart over here. Remember my friend Meyer, how he was making tens of thousands of dollars a day. And so I created charts, and the charts where we would use Heikin-Ashi candles, we would use order blocks, we'd use supply or support and resistance lines, sell order blocks, buy order blocks. We'd look at the CCI, we'd look at the 8 and 21 EMAs. We just looked at a lot of different stuff. And then we'd look at AD. Remember, my saying is that follow AD, and that's how the market will do, right? And so what we do is we go, here's the way you scalp. You follow AD. If AD is going up, the market E-minis go up. And if the E-minis go up, then the NASDAQ go up. And then you can look at volume to see if volume confirms the moves and things of that nature. But that's basically what we've done. So y'all, I set up this weekend and I went to our friend Claude. And I know some of y'all just roll your eyes and go, oh my God, Bob, what is Bobby doing? And look at this code that this thing wrote, y'all. I've been working hour upon hour upon hour upon hour. And I basically told Claude, I got a buddy. And the buddy trades oversized candles, and basically he reverses them. And I said, it would be neat if we could replicate that in the real world. He uses CCI, and he uses 8 and 21 EMAs. Okay. So I said, let's replicate that. And let's do CCI, and let's throw in some VWAP in there. Okay. Let's throw in the oversized candle bars. And then one thing that, if you notice in our scalping sessions that we've had lately, Mark and I have really loved money flow index. So I was talking to this and I said, let's add money flow index in there and see if it can help us with our trades. And I just love this money flow index. When money's flowing bullish, the market's normally going up. If this is low, then it's going down. And I even said, let's test cumulative deltas. I kind of like this too, to see if the market was going up. And what we found that is cumulative delta in my back testing with Claude didn't do anything. We also could not find a way that support and resistance would help us. So we tossed that out, the support and resistance lines. We didn't really find a way in our back testing that this would help us. We also threw out the order blocks. The order blocks, as you know, and look at this, it helps us here visually. When it goes into that order block of sale, look, it rejects upon that, and the sellers were there, and the market went down. So we threw that out. We tried to enter the VIX in there. VIX didn't really help. We tried some risk management things that we would place stops based on the average true range, things of that nature. We really couldn't get that to work all that good. We did dual mode switching, which means we would switch from an environment where we were looking at reversals to an environment where we were going in a trend direction. So we did that, and that made sense. We looked at multi-time frame analysis, And multi-time frame analysis, basically my friend that I've told you about looks at the 15 second, he looks at the 1 minute, and he looks at the 5 minutes to confirm direction. Interestingly enough, Claude and through TradingView, when I back tested it, that made the results worse looking at the 15 second. And I said, well, look at the 15 minute. That didn't help. We said, look at the 1 hour. That didn't help. I said, look at the day. That didn't help. And then we went into the previous high and low. I think I've shown y'all that. This is the previous or the pre-market high, this little blue line. And I asked Claude, is this helpful to us? And we back tested that in TradingView, and that did not help us. So we took that out. We also tried to get Claude to program in our friend AD because I told Claude AD leads the way. There was not a good way. We tried to bring in AD into TradingView to see if that would help us, and it did not. And then we looked at regular trading hours versus trading overnight as well. And it kind of found that, you know, if you had this thing going all the time, it would do better if you traded this thing. So we came up and I back tested it. And over like a certain period of time, I forget what the certain period of time was, but the profitability was $249,000 compared to $134,000 on buy and hold. The thing did have some drawdowns though, and it really didn't take, you know, quick stop losses and things of that nature. And I tried to say, we want to do a $1,200 profit per day and then stop trading. And if we lose $1,800 in a 24-hour period, stop trading as well, right? You want to make sure you have a daily maximum loss. And the interesting thing is you can hook up your TradingView to your broker, whether it be Tasty or whether it be Trade-Evate or whoever you're using. You can hook those up together so that those will communicate and it can actually execute your trade for you. Now, before we ever did that, we would certainly make sure that we did that in an environment, a paper environment, and I would probably do it for months and actually do a lot more back testing as well to make sure that it worked over different time frames, different regimes where the market was going up, the market was going down, and things of that nature. But it's interesting enough. So you can only imagine how many hours that I put in this, and I can't imagine how many coding hours I would have had to hire somebody to do this. But I just want to flip out what we've got so far. Is it perfect? Lord, no, it's not perfect. But I just want to show you what it looks like. So we came up with a little thing here. And basically, right now, we're not in the reversal mode. That's the mode where my friend was, you know, he didn't do trend following. He basically did reversal. So right now, it says that what we're doing with our trades here we are basically in a trend following area. The market regime is kind of neutral, right? It's not really bearish or bullish. What we're seeing right here is kind of a neutral market regime. What this thing also looks at is it looks at the average daily range over the last 5 trading days. And it shows that today from 9:30 on, we have only traveled, the market from high to low has only traveled about 36% of the average daily range of the last 5 days. So that tells you that, there's probably some bigger movements left to come, right? There's bigger movements left to come. Then it shows you the money flow index value. I will probably take that off. I don't think it's necessary that I look at money flow. I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting. And you could always put money flow down here on the bottom. So this is the 1 minute chart of NASDAQ, right? And so then it says signal strength 20%. Well, what does that mean? Well, what it does is looking at money flow, looking at the 8 and 21 EMAs, looking at volume. It actually looks at volume to confirm these moves. It comes up with a ranking between 0 and 100%. And I think the lowest one that it takes is 20%, right? 20% is the lowest one that it takes. But what it does is it generates a buy or sell signal. Okay. It generates a buy or sell signal based on all of the stuff that I told you about. It takes it all into account. Here's VWAP, here's the 8, here's the 21, looks at the trend. And so last thing that this thing told us to do was to take a buy signal here. Well, it wasn't very confident about it because it only gave it a ranking of 20%, which is in other words, the signal strength was 20%. What's cool though is sometimes it says, hey, this is a really big sale here. You could really get several points here if you take the sale, right? So it gives you sales. So 20% here. Now, here's what I asked it. I said, well, this is strange. I said, it gave a buy signal here, Claude, and then it gave another buy signal here. And it said, do you want me to take that second one out? And I said, no, I think this is just further confirmation that this was a strong buy signal, and let's keep it in there. And maybe it showed me that I could scale up some into the trade and maybe add a contract on a second one. So we added that in there. You could easily take that out. But this thing, y'all, I want you to show this. I want you to show this. Came up with all of this code to do that. Now, I'm not a coder. I don't have any idea how to do this stuff. Now, it would come up with errors and things of that nature, and it would have to do the fixes, and it went back and forth, and I had to start several new conversations. But it came up with all this wonderful code, which I thought was just, remarkable that it could do this. And then I basically went back to Claude and said, Claude, is there anything that we can do to add upon it? And we would test various different things. So, for example, let's say it actually just brought up, one of its suggestions was, let's look at volume profile. Well, you know how much I love volume profile, market profile. So I'm going to do some additional testing with that. But now here's what's kind of funny. Here's what's kind of cool. Let me just see if we can do this. I wanted to see, okay, so this is 9:30 today, right? This is when the market opened. We've got our signals, right? And let's see if it can evaluate how it would have performed today if we had taken these signals. Now, again, if we get this thing to working properly, what we can do is hook it up to our broker and it'll automatically take the trades, right? It'll automatically take the trades. So we're not at that point yet. We're just testing various things. But basically what I want to ask Claude is, hey, how are we doing? All right. So you can take a picture of it like this, and let's go to Claude and let's say, hey, buddy, old friend. So let's see if we can find him. Where is our friend Claude? Okay. So assume we are only trading one contract of NQ. Look at the latest chart and tell me the total points that we made following the signals and the amount of money we made at $20 per point. I'm assuming it knows that, but I'm not sure, right? Also, tell me the maximum amount of drawdown that we experienced. Do you believe the indicator is working optimally? Okay, and then Control V, which basically, you're sitting there going, wait a minute. Claude cannot look at that chart and tell all that information. And I would say, beware. Let's see what it says. Okay. So let's move this over so we can get a big thing so y'all can see what's going on. He's thinking, looking at the latest chart, I can analyze the trading performance of the NQ dual mode indicator with all our enhancements. Let's break down the profitability by analyzing each signal. So the buy signals at 19,990, exit at 25, that's 50 points. Okay, so we would have got 50 points on the first buy signal. It gave us a signal strength of 43%. The buy signal at 38 there would have given us 50 points. Buy signal there, it's around 20,000, would have given us 40 points. The buy signal there would have given us 90 points. The buy there would have given us 70 points. The buy there would have given us negative 20 points. Okay, so let's see. Buy at 2090, exit at 2070. So we lost 20 points there. Let's see. Make sure everything else was positive. The buy signal here with the 33%, we would have lost 10 points. And the buy 20% at 2080 would have given us 50 points, and that position would still be open. Okay, so let's see what the sell signals would have done. So the sell signals would have the 33% would have given us 15 points, 40 points there, 20 points there, negative 20 there. We're going to have losers. This thing is not perfect. Sell at a 41 would have given us 10 points. Sell at 28% would have lost 10 points. So total P&L calculation. Total points gained, it adds it up. We would have gained 425 points. Max, the value per point is $20. The total profit, if we had taken all of the signals that were given us today, we would have made $8,500. Maximum drawdown, let's see. The largest consecutive trades were the buy there and buy there, resulting in a combined 30-point drawdown. So if we were doing this with a size account that I intend to trade with it, that would be a $60,000 account. So a 30-point drawdown would have been a 600 drawdown, which would have been 1% of the account, which is very fair, very good, right? So indicator performance assessment. The indicator is performing exceptionally well for several reasons. Profitability of $8,500 profit on a single contract is impressive for a day's trading with a very favorable risk-reward ratio. Maximum drawdown of 600 versus $8,500 profit. Signal quality. High strength signals consistently led to larger moves. So what you could do is when you're getting in the 30s, 40s, 60s, it said it led to larger moves. What you could do is, and let's say we're going to trade the MNQ, the micro NASDAQ, then what we could do is we could scale into those positions a little larger, right? So instead of trading one contract, maybe you could move up to 2 or 3 contracts of MNQ. Lower strength signals correctly identified smaller moves. So everything's doing good. I didn't tell you this too. It also looks at the volatility in the market. If it's highly volatile, it adjusts its signal rating based on volatility and time of day. And how long the move has gone. So it makes some adjustments in there. It would take me forever to explain the code that does that. The 64% buy signal, which was the highest that we received at 20,000, was particularly impressive, capturing the strong reversal. So that's very good that buy signal captured there, and it had a 64% based on CCI, money flow index, 821, EMA, and volume. Market regime adaptation. The status panel now shows trending up, change from ranging in the earlier image, which I had showed it earlier. The indicator correctly adapted its signal strength as the market transitioned from ranging to trending. So in a ranging market, your signals are going to be less reliable. In other words, you may get a 20 or a 25. If it's trending, you may get a 50 or 60 on that signal strength. We also used ADR usage, and 38% ADR used increased from 36% from the previous time that I showed this to Claude, showing the day is progressing normally. Correctly identified that there's still plenty of room for price movement. In other words, I think what Claude's telling me here is don't stop, Bob. Keep on trading, right? Even though we only wanted to do $1,200 on the day. MFI correlation, which Claude told me was an underused technical analysis tool, and it loved that I was using it. It says an MFI value, money flow, shows overbought condition, which aligns with the current signal strength of 20%. correctly showing lower conviction in the current uptrend. So then it comes back. And so you can see we could do this over several days to improve upon the signals, right? While the indicator is working extremely well, let me tell you something. If I had used this indicator today and made $8,500, I am a happy camper. There are a few minor tweaks that could potentially improve it. Consider a trailing stop mechanism. I like that. And Claude actually came up with a trailing stop on the chart, but it was difficult for me to read the charts. It just made lines all over the place. But remember, in actual trading, when we actually hook this up to our broker, then it can actually put in the trailing stop in there, which would be very, very good, and move the stop loss up. So filter very low strength signals. Consider setting a minimum threshold, perhaps 25% for acting on signals. The current threshold now is at 20%, but as you look, that 20% one is really good now. Oh, where's it at? No, we don't have it yet. So I don't know. I think I'll leave it where it's at, 20%. Trend alignment filter, considering adding a rule to avoid counter trend trades during strong trends. Okay, that's nice. For example, in a trending up regime, prioritize buy signals and use higher thresholds for sell signals. Time-based exit strategy, add a time-based exit if no opposite signal appears within a certain number of bars. And that's what we're seeing now. You've been in this long for quite some time. So it would say, add a time-based exit if you don't have an opposite signal within a certain number of bars. Or you could watch it, This could prevent staying in positions too long if the market stalls. Overall, the indicator is functioning at a very high level of performance. The adaptations for market regime, signal strength percentage, and ADR awareness are clearly enhancing trading decisions. With a profit of 8,500 and a maximum drawdown of only 600, the risk reward profile is excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, I know Claude did the heavy lifting, but I spent a ton of time on this. All right. And when I work on this and make this available, will it be rolled out to trader nerds people? Absolutely. And y'all know how it goes. Muscadine Mafia gets everything first, right? Muscadine Mafia gets the stuff first. So that would be to Muscadine Mafia members. Then we do it to Hello Ladies Gang members. And then finally to the Ninja Nerds. But y'all, this is a high level, very sophisticated. And what I like about it is you don't have to watch anything. You just sit there and go, hey, take the signal like a monkey. And Will's going to do this. And what I want to do, I don't think it's in there already. He says it's in there, but I would like it when I get a buy signal, I would like it to say buy. And when it says sell signal, I'm going to say sell. So when I've got my headphones on and I'm sitting here, I don't have to actually watch it. I can go watch Drudge Report or CNN or Fox News. I can be watching news or listening to market stuff. And then this will actually scream out to me, hey, fatso, take a trade. So this is a very, very, very sophisticated model. It would have taken probably thousands upon thousands of dollars to code this in thousands and thousands of hours. And here we can do it in a weekend. Isn't that incredible? Any of y'all got any questions at all about this? Are you excited about things of this nature? I am.
Yeah, this looks fantastic, Bobby.
It's cool, isn't it?
Certainly is.
I just thought it was, it's just really neat. And the thing is, and I didn't show y'all this, but right now I've got this coded as an indicator, right? I could go into Claude and say, Claude, uh, uh, you can go to strategy tester and you can actually, instead of giving signals, tell it to say, sell one, buy one, sell one, buy one. And it'll actually backtest the strategy. And I think when I was backtesting this, let's see, it was with one contract, I think it was 126,000 over whatever the period was that it did pretty good. But it's a real fun thing to play with. And yeah, it looks like a winner, Rick. Now, I'm gonna keep feeding it stuff over the next few days. And what I want to do is at the end of the day, go back again, right? And say, okay, here's 9:30. Here were our signals. How would it have done on the day? How can we improve it? Now, I know that we're overfitting and we're, doing this and coming up with different things, but I think if we can find something that consistently works, now we may be there, or it may, some of its adjustments that it brought in about volume profile may be interesting to add to it, but it's really, really cool. And let's say if you don't want this box where it is, you just tell Claude, it normally had the box over here. And I go, I don't want this box over here. And I said, move it to the left in the middle of the screen. So it moved that. Initially, it had the signal strength here, which it does 20%. And I was like, hey, let's put the signal strength on the actual sell or buy indicators here, when it gives you a signal to buy. So y'all, I mean, can you imagine? And y'all can go in and do this yourselves. I mean, go into Claude, build you something. Say, let's start with an 8 and 21 EMA. Let's add volume. Let's add VWAP. Let's add, and you can do this and come up with your own strategy. So you don't have to sit there and say, well, Bobby's done all the heavy work. If there's something that you think works, you say, I like RSI. I want to add RSI to it, or MACD, or whatever. Then Claude can do that. It's simply amazing. And I've had so many conversations with it. Now, the problem is you'll have so many conversations with Claude, and all of a sudden it can't continue. Like at some point, this conversation will be like, okay, that's in. You've had enough. And I'll be like, oh crap. And so I have to start another one. And I'll say, here's how I basically started it. Let me show you how I started it. This is kind of cool. Well, let's see, how do I get to the top?
Hey, Bobby, have you followed it real time? Because it was just showing a sell signal and then that disappeared. So I wonder,
Did it flash a sell signal?
it was showing it for, I mean, so yeah, it was showing it real time there and now it's gone. So I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
in
So
regards.
what I need to ask it is, how do we keep it? I think you call that a non-repainting signal. Once the signal prints, keep it. I need to talk to it about the sensitivity to that, because you're exactly right. Because you could flash a buy, and then we've seen on these other indicators that we've used that it won't keep the signal and it'll flash. So I need to say, I think, what do they call it? Non-repeating, non-repainting, or something. They call it that. I need to ask Claude about that, because I would like to, if it prints, it prints. Don't give me a false signal here and make me go short and then let the signal disappear. Yeah, I definitely need to have a conversation with Claude about that. Let's see. Which time frames have you back tested on? Stephen, only 1 minute. I tried to, I said we want to take the trades off 1 minute, but let's say that you want to take this. This was designed for a 1 minute chart, but you could certainly do this for a 5 minute chart. I'm not sure if Claude would have to change any of the, I mean, you could easily click on 5 minutes, change it, and my code is over there like that. So I'm not sure why it did that. So I don't think it's set up for 5 minutes, but I'm sure I could go in and say, hey, change this for 5 minutes. So that doesn't look like a good sale. That's sale of 85%. So it doesn't look like it's sale 29% look good. That buy looks good. But it really, let's see what happens if we go to 15. Yeah. 1 hour. Yeah. Daily. Well, that doesn't look good at all. You get 3 straight buy signals. So I think this one is actually made for the 1 minute, but I could easily go in. Now I tried to do different time frames. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, you could do that. Schwaz says, I have been out of the country. Where'd you go, Schwaz? Do you mean you were out of Tuscaloosa, or are you really out of the country? Hope you went on vacation and nothing on business. Vacation's better.
Went to Jamaica to celebrate 50 years of marriage.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
we've only had 12 good ones and argue about which 12 it was.
Yeah, I understand that totally. I understand that
No, it
totally.
was good. Went to Jamaica for that to celebrate 50 years.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Well, happy anniversary. Give your wife a big old kiss and say that's from Sweet Bobby.
I'll do it. She'll love it.
But no, we have not eliminated CCI. CCI is a part of this. It is calculating money flow here, and it is calculating. Like if you wanted to see the CCI number, you could come over here to CCI. So this has, let me tell you what this has in it. It has the 8 and 21 EMA. It calculates CCI. It calculates VWAP. It does calculate oversized bars. What it does is that's Meyer's program, right? He looks at an oversized bar and looks to reverse it. So what this does is it looks at the 7 previous bars and identifies an oversized bar if it is 1.5 times the average of the previous 7 bars. And then it includes money flow index. So those are the things, 8 and 21 EMA, CCI, VWAP, oversized bars, and money flow index. So those are the 5 things that it used. I tried above that cumulative delta, support resistance, order blocks, VIX. We tried multi-time frame analysis. That did not help. We tried previous high and low levels. That didn't help. AD didn't help. And regular trading hours actually was bad too. Now, what I'd love to do, I love to set this up with my Tradeovate if if we're pretty confident of this thing and with an $1,800 a day maximum stop loss and just let this thing run 24 hours a day. I'd love that. So I want you to know that you can backtest this thing, and where they say a sale, you could see an order -1, -1, buy 1, -1, or -2, or whatever you told it to do. Or you could tell Claude if the signal strength is, where'd that 64 go? Yeah, here, 64. You get this 64 thing, you could say do 2 contracts if it's above 50 or above 60. All of that stuff is possible, y'all. Now, I'm going to tell you, you're going to get in a rabbit hole with this. You're going to get in a rabbit hole. You're going to get frustrated because when it does the code, it comes up with all these errors, and you got to send a picture of the error to it, and it's got to create it. But now this one doesn't have any errors in it. This is working just perfectly. And I'm going to say, let's look at volume profile to see if we can enhance our returns. We might look at a couple of things, but I think I'm pretty close to done. I've tested everything that I can possibly throw at it. And if we had taken the trades today, we'd be up 8,500. We'd probably be even more now than when we did it, a few minutes ago. We'd be up a little bit more. I remember going to Jamaica and they told us not to get into certain little taxi cabs. Oh my gosh. And they said they'll take you to their family place, and you may not get back to the boat and all this kind of stuff. I thought, oh my God. And that's the first time someone tried to offer us some wacky weed.
Yeah, we stayed on the resort. We didn't go off and do any excursions or anything like that. Just stayed there and chilled. And of course, a bunch of the guys down there where all the water sports is, if you walk through there, they will ask you if you want any weed.
Oh yeah,
So,
it was all over the place. That's for sure. It was all over the place.
yep. So, but we felt very safe, and we flew into the new airport called Ian Fleming.
Mm-hmm.
Based on that, they ain't named it after the James Bond.
James Bond, yeah.
And so it was. We only had like a 10-minute ride in the shuttle to get there. So it was nice. It's called Power Island Couples Resort.
Wow, Power Island Couples Resort. Well, if
Yep.
I can have listen, just think about all the trips you're going to be taking if we get this indicator working twice.
We may buy one.
We may buy Darn Island. We may buy the whole place.
The funny thing about it is that it's called Tower Island because it has like a little island off, and it's if you go to that island, it is you have like 30 minutes to go there and just look at it, and then you either take all your clothes off or you go back to the resort.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. With my body, I'd be back at the resort.
Hey, most of the ones that should don't.
That is true, isn't it? I mean, you see some old gals and some old guys, I mean, they're sitting there going, put that stuff back in. That does not need to see the light of day, especially with my eyes. Lord
Yep,
have mercy.
that's for sure.
That's like when I go into the ocean, I have a strict thing. I do not wear black swim trunks in the ocean because I know I will look like a seal to a shark, and ain't no way I'm wearing black. I tell people no black.
That's probably wise. Probably
Yeah.
wise.
So y'all like this?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. I'm really excited. Yeah, DB says it'd be cool to see how it does over this week. Yeah, and what we could do is, at the end of the week, we could say evaluate. How do we do? And it can tell us based on the regime and the thing. Like right now, it's ranging, and it's really good to easy see that it's ranging. We're in trend following mode, so we're not doing what Meyer does. Now we've used 41% of the ADR. I'll probably and like Schwartz, if you wanted to see CCI value over here, you could do it, or you could simply just add it to your chart. You can still add CCI here. You could add whatever you want to your chart. But I kind of like it because I don't have to add MFI, money flow index. I don't have to look at it. And but we're going to hook this up once I've made all my final adjustments, and we'll tweak it along the way. Y'all know how I am with my spreadsheets and things of that nature. But I am pumped. I am pumped. If I told Beth, if I had taken my signals today, we would have made $8,500. She would have been packing her bags. She'd be like, "We going somewhere." So I'm just real excited about it.
Hey, Bobby, do you need the premium version of TradingView to use this?
No,
Just the basic one will work?
yeah, just the basic one. Should
Okay.
work fine. Yeah. And see what it is, and see, this is stuff we never looked at over here, y'all. But it was fun. We could load the strategy in and strategy tester. I'd have to tell Claude to make it into a strategy, but right now it's just a signal, and test this little thing, back test it and over, a multiple of different things. But y'all, I'm gonna tell you something. This is something that I did not know was available. I didn't know you could do this crap. And this weekend, or this Friday, I watched a video, and I was like, "Oh wow!" You telling me that all this stuff we've been looking at, CCI, money flow, cumulative delta, I can create all that together, and instead of me looking and making a discretionary decision on when to buy and sell, you're telling me that this can do it and make those decisions without me? Oh heck yeah! Oh heck yeah! And see, when we set this up to automatically trade, if you say, okay, my max loss is $1,000 a day. Once you set that, boom, it's going to stop trading until the next day. Or if you wanted to say only trade during regular hours, or if you say take the first hour off, don't come in till 10:30 and trade to 12, and then trade from 1:30 to 3:30 to skip those volatile times, you certainly do that too. But the cool thing is it knows when it's volatile, and it'll add to your signal strength based on the volatility of the market. Now this 20% trade, it only was 20%, but my God, look at it. That would have been day done. And to think, I was just hoping, what the goal was. I was hoping to make $200 a day. But now I'm like, wait a minute. You telling me that, that there's a possibility we could make $8,000 a day? This is what Meyer does, y'all. Except he makes these decisions without these little things. And it was so funny. Meyer's taking 3 weeks off, and I texted him and I say, "Hey, I'm trying to automate your strategy." And he said he's going to call me. He was interested in that because he said it before. He said, "I think I can automate this thing." And I thought, yeah, you probably can. Now, if all of us in the trader nerd community, we got 1,104 people, I think, 1,104 people. If all 1,104 of us start doing this together, what's that going to do? Is it going to erode our edge? I don't think so. I don't think we'll have 1,104 members, unless this thing works great, and then, everybody and their mom will be coming in. But I think we probably need to limit it to the number of people that we give it. We don't want everybody and their mama to have our code. We're just, the people that have been here for years and, have stuck with me and through thick and thin. I think we got something that could be really, really special. Really, really special. Or create your darn own. I done told you how to do it. Go ahead and do your own. I think that would be cool. All right. Well, I love y'all to pieces. I'm more excited now than I ever have been. And I'll keep tweaking it and see if we can improve upon it. And at some point we'll roll it out and let you guys test it too and back test it. And now, do you need premium Claude? It's going to stop your conversations quicker. I pay, so I get, like, even though I do that, it tells me at some point, okay, you don't have any more Claude time till 7 o'clock tonight or something, because the conversations are so long. So it even takes a break. But even if you subscribe to Claude Premium, it's only $20 a month. So. All right, guys, I love y'all to pieces. I hope you're excited about it, and go play with it yourself. And everybody have a great rest of your day. I will see y'all tomorrow.